Welcome to Illuminating Catholics, podcast of the Diocese of Sioux City. I'm Dawn Prosser, Director of Communications for the Diocese. Together with Carmen Bauer of the Faith Formation Office, we will shed light upon topics of faith in the modern church. Our guests include Catholic clergy, religious sisters, and other experts in their fields to help us understand what's happening in the church today. We will explore issues, even the tough ones, and to find answers to common questions about Catholicism. Thank you for joining us for today's Illuminating Catholics, shedding light to understand the modern church.
Welcome back to the Illuminating Catholics podcast of the Diocese of Sioux City. I am Carmen Bauer, the Director of Faith Formation.
And I'm Dawn Prosser, Director of Communications for the Diocese.
We know that you have many options for podcasts, and we appreciate that you choose Illuminating Catholics. Today, our guest is Matt Willkom of the Iowa Catholic Radio Network, Director of Programming and Network Development, and he's here to catch us up with the new tower in the northern area of our diocese since it launched last winter. So welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Carmen and Dawn. I have to compliment you on your professionalism as well. You're the ones who have the headphones and the microphones visible to the camera. I don't have anything like that, but through the wonders of technology, somehow you can still hear me.
We can.
I'm just really grateful to be on the show.
Well, luckily it's just an audio show, so no one will see that you don't have the headphones on. Your secret's safe with us, I think.
All right.
So, again, thanks for coming on. Had a great chat with you last winter when you were kind of introducing the 89.9 Great Lakes Tower to us. So if people missed that or forgot, can you give us a little bit of background about how 89.9 came to be and when that all started?
Yeah, well, thank you again for the opportunity. And the Iowa Catholic Radio has been around for now 20 years. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year, but we started with just one signal back in 2005. It was a relatively low-power AM station that covered the Des Moines metro, but not much further. It's amazing how far we've come, especially the last 3 or 4 years. And that's in part due to an opportunity that the Federal Communications Commission afforded to non-commercial radio broadcasters such as Iowa Catholic Radio to apply for brand new FM signals in what's called the non-commercial educational part of the FM band. So it's that lower part of the band where you have the NPRs of the world and other Christian broadcasters that are non-commercial. And so we applied for a few of those, and we were awarded a couple in northern Iowa, one in Mason City and one in the Diocese of Sioux City in the Okoboji area. And it's a very nice signal there, a 22,000 watt signal, and we are just so pleased to be able to broadcast in that area. It reaches all the way into Minnesota as well, and so that's how far it reaches. It's got quite a large reach, and it was quite a long process in order to get it on the air. There was some things that providentially needed to come together, and by God's providence they did, and here we are.
Awesome. So, and if I remember correctly, the tower is actually in Fostoria.
That's right. It's just about 2 or 3 miles east of Fostoria on a tower that we rent space on, and we have, again, 22,000 watts of power going in all directions. And it's a situation where we would love to be able to eventually build our own tower, but we're just happy to have been able to get it built out so that it could get on the air, because the FCC only affords broadcasters, after they've been granted the construction permit, only 3 years to build out your station. Otherwise, it's game over, and you have to wait until the next time, which the previous window of opportunity for this was 17 years prior.
Oh my.
So that's how rare these opportunities are, and so we really felt like we needed to jump on this. And this type of a large amount of spectrum on the FM dial that we have in northwest Iowa and the Okoboji, Iowa Great Lakes region is actually quite rare to come across nowadays. because with each successive window of opportunity, more and more of that spectrum gets gobbled up. And it was quite a process of separating ourselves from other broadcasters that we were in conflict with. Just our application was conflicting with theirs or a portion of theirs. We had to get kind of creative, and we had to be patient, but it paid off in the end.
So you don't just wake up one day, it's like, you know what, I think I'm going to build a tower and start broadcasting Catholic radio here, there, or wherever.
No, that's not how it happens at all. But
well, we're grateful for your perseverance.
Yeah. Thanks be to God.
Yes. So why don't you tell us, and this will kind of answer two questions, what KCSL, your letters, what that represents, and the communities that you cover. Yeah,
I'm kind of a geek when it comes to this type of thing. Call letters are really kind of my jam.
That's
I like to say, as the younger kids say. But KCSL, the C stands, of course, for Catholic, but then also for Clay County, where the tower is located, and also Spencer is in Clay County, and Spencer is the actual city of license, and also SL for Spirit Lake. We wanted to try to cover as many bases as we could. It's also a tip of the hat to Siouxland, as well as to the Diocese of Sioux City in a kind of a veiled homage to the Sioux City Diocese in the form of its Latin name. And
I love that.
Probably butcher this, but I think it's Dioceses Siopolitanensis.
I'll take your word for it.
So that last word, I totally butchered that, but that last word, it stands for Sioux City, essentially, has an S and an L in it. And so we were able to kind of fit that in somehow.
Well, that works and helps describe the Catholics that you're reaching, and in southern Minnesota, which is kind of a bonus for those listeners as well.
That's right.
So can you tell us, and maybe this doesn't have an answer, so do you actually have staff in the Spencer Great Lakes area for the station?
We don't currently have staff, but I can envision a time not in the not too distant future when we probably would have some staff there, living there, because it's such an important market for us. And not only there, but Mason City and other places we're looking at either adding stations or partnering with other existing Catholic stations to kind of fill in the gaps. We have other affiliates around the state of Iowa that are locally owned, but they choose to pick up Iowa Catholic radio programming. And so we have some other opportunities throughout the state, including northern Iowa and southern Minnesota, where we may be able to expand our footprint. And so having an individual in that region that's dedicated just to serving those folks up there and advocating for them, making sure that those opportunities for relationship building happen as they're supposed to happen. That I can foresee that happening in the not too distant future.
Well, and kind of going off of that, as you transition into this part of the state of Iowa, have you or do you have plans for offering content that's locally based in those regions, in those newer spots?
Yeah, thank you. We absolutely do plan on offering local content. I think we, right now, in a way, offer some local content in the form of the Rosary with Bishop Robert Barron. I know it's not Sioux City Diocese, but he's right across the border. And this signal enters into Minnesota quite a ways. And so we received permission from the folks at Word on Fire to rebroadcast Bishop Barron's Rosary. So that's actually heard on the entire network. So as a result of us expanding northward, the whole rest of the network now benefits by hearing Bishop Barron's Rosary at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. But we do plan to be reaching out to parishes. I know there's some pastors in the area that have some experience working with Catholic radio. I know the new pastor in Spirit Lake and Milford, I'm thinking specifically, has some experience working with Catholic radio. So would love to partner with folks like that. Anyone who has a heart for evangelization. Like we like to say, that Catholic radio is a rising tide that lifts all boats. And so we want to come alongside whatever apostolates are up there in whatever way we can to support the church.
I can imagine that Father Heeman up at the lakes, he's really not shy. Hi, Father. I don't think it'd be too hard to get him on the air. I'll volunteer him for you.
All right. I'll let him know.
Well, in addition to the parishes, too, the schools that are in that area. And is it true that there were some local recordings done or interviews done with those at the school?
Yes, we broadcast live from Spencer Sacred Heart School back in mid-May, and that was a great success. We interviewed the pastor and the principal and the development director there, all fine people. It's just something that we try to do every month of the school year, is to go to a different school within the listening area and to highlight the great things that are going on in our Catholic schools. Partly also because it's a great way to introduce young families to Catholic radio. And it's a way to build that audience, to cast that net even further. Another thing that we're hoping to do in the fall is to come back to Northwest Iowa and broadcast from another school. I know I stopped by a couple of places, including in, I believe it was in, not Sanborn, but the community just to the west of there.
Sheldon?
Sheldon.
Yeah, they have a wonderful little school there.
Yeah, and they sounded very interested in having us come and do a live broadcast from the Catholic school there. And I think we're looking at maybe coming to Emmitsburg. I gave some pulpit talks there a few weeks ago, and those were very successful. I brought a lot of materials, and I didn't come back with too many materials, so people were very interested in. There were a lot of people who knew that we were there, but there were a lot of folks who didn't know that we were broadcasting on 89.9 there in Northwest Iowa. So it was just a wonderful experience there. And the pastor, Father Kelly, he said, you should contact the school here at Holy Family and see if you can broadcast again this fall from the school there. Another kind of interesting tie-in that I highlighted during my pulpit talks there in Emmitsburg was that the automation system that we use, which is the Skyla system from Sparks Broadcasting, is actually the world headquarters of that company is based in Emmitsburg.
Really?
And so it seems kind of fitting that we're broadcasting now in that area where they've been serving us for so long in Emmitsburg, maybe not even knowing it. And now we get a chance to serve them in return.
Oh, that's really cool.
I just love it that you're in the schools, and I'll bet they love it. And the ones that you will visit, that'll be a big hit. Keep us posted on those.
Well, and also, if I can just ask another question, you mentioned being able to expand into Bishop Barron's Rosary and some other things as your tower went north. On the other side of that, are there some local to Des Moines or the Central Iowa, some shows from the original Iowa Catholic Radio lineup that now those in the north are able to hear that they may not have heard on EWTN radio if they were streaming from there directly?
Yes, absolutely. We have 10 local shows, local/regional, including our daily Mass that we have right now. Currently, it's from a variety of parishes in the Des Moines metro. We have St. Francis of Assisi in West Des Moines. We have St. Pius X in Urbandale and St. Teresa's in Des Moines. But we're looking to expand that as well and looking to partner with other parishes throughout the network, including in northern Iowa. So if you know of a parish that might be interested in getting in on the rotation of that, broadcasting their daily Mass on the entire network, send them our way. So it's a great thing, I think, to be able to highlight those local parishes. And then we have Sunday Mass broadcast from the Basilica of St. John. And I know that I've heard from in my conversations with the pastor of the other basilica in the state of Iowa, in Dyersville, that they're interested in having their Sunday Mass broadcast as well. So that would be, I think, a fitting thing to be able to feature both basilicas in the state. But over and above that, we have other local programs. We have an hour-long show called The Uncommon Good with our morning show host, Bo Bonner, and his broadcast partner, Dr. Bud Marr. And they do a fantastic job talking about social justice, Catholic social teaching. We've also got our own Bishop William Johnson, who comes in weekly here and records his half-hour show here in studio. And that's on Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 11. And then also we've got other folks who do weekly shows here, including Julie Nelson and Chris Magruder, who are the Catholic Women Now. They have a long-running show on Iowa Catholic Radio. It's one of our most listened to programs. Also, Man Up with Joe Stopulus. He's another well-listened to host. Also, a program called Be Not Afraid with Father P.J. McManus and Father Fabian Moncada. They do an English version and a Spanish version. But Father P.J. is especially well known in this area for his depth of knowledge and his ability to communicate that in a crisp and entertaining way. We've also got some other programs that are local. Knights of Columbus, Faith and Family Finance. Gregory Waddle, one of the top field agents in the country, has a 10-minute show that airs on the weekends as well. So it's just a lot of local programming that we're able to bring forth, and along with that, I think really make Catholic radio everything that it could be or should be, at least in our minds. That localism is really very important to us.
Well, I have to say, so my mom listens to Iowa Catholic Radio every day on her drive to work. She lives in central Iowa, and it must be pretty interesting because I'm always receiving tidbits of information that she's heard on the radio, so you guys do good work.
Well, as I mentioned, our main morning show host, Bo Bonner, along with Elise Kerr and Aidan Pugh, the morning show crew, they do a really great job every morning, 7 to 8, Monday through Friday. A guest-driven show, but they bring some really good content themselves. And so along with sports, weather, everything that you would want in a morning show, we try to provide.
Bishop Keener was a recent guest on your morning show, so appreciate you sharing that audio with us so that we could share it out over here. That was
my mom told me that
too.
Yes, she was all excited to hear.
I liked the part where he said, I'm paraphrasing. I'm kind of new, and I'm still trying to figure out when the Zucchetto goes on, when the Zucchetto comes off, and he's just such a down to earth guy that just kind of made me laugh. So that was. Yeah. That was fun having him on, and I had the pleasure being on the morning show, I think the day before we ordained our new bishop, so was able to speak with your people, so that was an honor, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, Bishop Keener did a great job there, and we were so blessed when this opportunity to obtain the station in Northwest Iowa came about, and I met with Bishop Nicholas. I think you were part of that as well. Received a really warm welcome. And that has been extended as well from our friends at Siouxland Catholic Radio in Sioux City. A shout out to them for sharing the rosary with Bishop Nicholas, which we air on the weekends as well. And so we try to partner with them wherever we can. I think we're stronger together, as I say. And so I look forward to continuing our partnership with the folks at Siouxland Catholic Radio as well.
Yeah, it's great to see how you all have coordinated together, and we're all in the same business of getting out the good news of the church and the wonderful things going on. So we appreciate all that.
Yeah, we would love to get a rosary as well from Bishop Keener, if that is possible.
I will look into that. He's out of town for a little bit, but if I forget, feel free to remind me. I'm sure he'd be happy to help you out. He, like Father Heeman, is not shy. I have a feeling I'm going to get an email from Father Heeman shortly after this episode drops.
It's my fault.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all in good humor. So is there anything particular coming up with the station, either Great Lakes area or Des Moines area, that we should be looking for, the listeners should be looking for?
Well, we just finished with our 3 days of summer fun promotion, and I was actually in the Northwest Iowa listening area in Okoboji and Spirit Lake specifically, doing a couple of sticker stops. This past week, we were in front of a couple of businesses there, just with our Iowa Catholic Radio tent and the 89.9 yard signs quite visible. And we were able to hand out some window stickers. That's a great way for people to evangelize, because you never know who's going to see that sticker and tune in, and their life is going to be changed. We also had these beautiful, really hip-looking T-shirts that say, "Hope does not disappoint," and the O in the word hope is in the shape of a little mini monstrance with the Eucharist in there. And then we have the 89.9 logo on the back. And so we handed some of those out. Some normally we ask for a donation for those, but some folks, they played the Plinko game and they won the T-shirt, and they threw the hula hoop around the cone and they won a T-shirt that way. Or we had some gift cards and other things that we were giving out as well. It's just having fun on the air as well. We had some special programming. We, as a programming team, kind of put our heads together and put together a music playlist that was sort of our favorites, both Christian contemporary music and otherwise. That was religious themed, and you just had a good time on the air that way. And but also looking for during that time, just kind of a soft ask of new supporters in these new listening areas, not only Northwest Iowa, but Mason City, also 105.3 in South Central Iowa. We're still very new down there. And we also recently made a major shift in the Des Moines Metro from an AM station to a full power FM. And so we were highlighting all of those things during the 3 days of summer fun. Now coming up, we're going to be at the Iowa State Fair again. So if people in Northwest Iowa make their way down to Des Moines for the fair, we're there every day from sun up to sundown with our booth just west of the Ann and Bill Riley stage, and we'd love to see you.
There's your invite, everybody. That's mid-August, I think.
Yeah,
the
7th
right.
or the 17th,
I believe it's the 7th to the 17th.
Yep.
Hey, you got 10 days to go down and visit your booth, so that's great. I would hazard a guess that people in the southern edge of our diocese can reach, your tower reaches some of them, maybe in Madrid, Boone, Ogden, Jefferson, perhaps.
Yeah. Another exciting development that we have going on is that we are in the midst of building a 653-foot tower in southwest Iowa.
Awesome.
Just outside of Creston, where we have right now a 500-watt FM on the top of a 4-story building downtown. It covers about maybe an 8-mile radius, not too big. But once we build this tower, the FCC has given us permission to bring that up to 100,000 watts.
Oh, wow.
At 653 feet. And 100,000 watts is as big as a FM can be. And so that's not only going to be reaching well into northern Missouri, but I would hazard to say that it'll probably be reaching into areas of the Sioux City Diocese, maybe the Coon Rapids area, Bayard, those areas. You don't know exactly until you turn the thing on. Until then, it's just predicted coverage. But I think we'll be covering another part of the Sioux City Diocese in the coming months.
Wonderful. So stay tuned, Southern Carroll County and parts beyond. So yeah, that's very exciting, and we appreciate that. All of the work that you do to get the word out about your station and your summer days of fun. What better place than the Great Lakes region, which people, we used to live about an hour away. We would go up there. I'm sure there's people from, even we're over on the western side of the diocese here. I'm sure there's lots of people from here over in the Great Lakes, and I'm sure the Des Moines area as well, that are happy to have that available when they go have some fun in the Great Lakes area.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. We went on the air on January 11th of this year, which was this year the Feast of the Baptism of our Lord. I just felt like it was kind of fitting with all the water in that area.
Yes.
That was the day that we went on the air.
That's right. I forgot about that. So what kind of feedback are you getting from our northern area up there of the diocese?
Yeah, where people are listening and people are engaging. I look back at our 3 days of summer fun. We had folks stop by our tent, and there was a woman who heard about us, and she had been away from the church for a while. And we were able to give her some materials, give her a program guide, and send her with a T-shirt and hopefully some food for thought. Just a basic positive touch there. People are engaged. Even in the midst of preparing for a ragbri or preparing to go have a good time out on the lake, they're stopping by our sticker stops to say hi and to see what this whole Iowa Catholic Radio thing is about. And so we're getting a lot of positive feedback. We're also getting some questions in the form of emails about the Catholic faith. For example, I fielded a question just the other day. This woman emailed in and said, why would, if Mary was sinless, why did she need a savior? Well, I was happy to answer that question. This is why we're here. And they're all very logical reasons that we can present. But if people don't have that opportunity to eavesdrop on the Catholic faith, to at least know that we're here so that they know that they can turn to us to ask these questions, they may not ever have a chance to get an answer. So we're just very humbled and grateful to be able to come alongside our Mother, the Church, and to help in whatever way we can in this work of evangelization.
So if we do have listeners from different areas, including Bishop Keener's home diocese in Youngstown, Ohio. Hello, everybody. So if you don't live in Des Moines area or even the Great Lakes area, what are other ways that people can find Iowa Catholic Radio?
Sure. Well, we got our website, iowacatholicradio.com, where you can listen either to the talk stream, or we also have a sacred music channel, which is also available on our mobile app. So it's called the new Iowa Catholic Radio mobile app. You can download that in the App Store or from Google Play. But we also have a podcast section on both of those platforms where you can access either our own local Iowa Catholic Radio content, or we also feature other podcasts from throughout the Midwest, and some of those are beyond the Midwest. But we try to offer folks whatever they might be desiring, wherever they're at in their spiritual life, in their walk. We try to offer something for everyone.
You do. I saw that you do have a lot of options. That is great. So that's wonderful that people can access your content wherever they are at.
That is awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today, for sharing the latest with us regarding KCSL, Iowa Catholic Radio, also for teaching us a little bit of Latin. That was a really nice little touch. So thank you for your time today, and I'm sure that we'll stay in touch in the future.
All right. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you all for following the Illuminating Catholics podcast. In this summer travel season, take us with you to learn more about the faith.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Illuminating Catholics, shedding light to understand the modern church. Follow us for more episodes on topics of the Catholic faith. For more diocesan news, visit lumenmedia.org.